All right, good morning, folks. Today is the 20th of October, 2025. Happy Monday. Um, hope you all doing well this morning. Had a good weekend. Starting off with the tropics once again. We have 98L out here in the tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean now. Um, Generally moving to the west, really low latitude still. Um, we have this mid-level feature moving through the northeast, clearing everything out. And the continental U.S. is going to be relatively quiet for a few days anyway. Um, so we're going to go over the tropics to start with and go over the continental U.S. forecast. Severe weather chances, excessive rainfall outlook, stuff like that. And we'll finish it out with the temperatures for the next 7 days or so. All right. So here's the tropics, of course. We have 98L. Forecast generally move this way, right? Rest of the tropics is relatively quiet, which we would expect this time of year in the Atlantic. All right. Mid-level water vapor loop. Um, see what's going on here. We have um, some shear going over. Here's 98L. Has some shear and drier air going this way. But as the system moves into the Western Caribbean, it's forecast to slow down and likely, um, I would say at this point, develop into at least a depression or tropical storm. Where it goes after that is still likely not going to go this way. Say more likely these kind of pattern, right? Like this. And that makes sense given the general flow here you see going on, right? Be hard for a system to get up this way. All right. This is the latest update from National Hurricane Center. 30% chance of development in 2 days, 70% in 7 days. So they're holding at 70% right now. So let's look at the ensemble model guidance. This is as of 3 days from now. This is the Google DeepMind showing quite a few members. And this is the 00Z. Want to move to the north. Also, it's still split. It's been doing this for several days now on where it wants to go. So once we get past the 8 day period, which is quite a few days from now, a week from now plus, we'll still probably be dealing with this system, right? So 10 days out, some want to take it into, looks like weaker systems in general. There's some that are still hanging out here in the Caribbean, right? So we'll have to see. It all depends where it ends up developing, how strong it gets, things like that. As far as the GNC, which is the Google DeepMind GenCast AI model, um, it wants to keep the system in the Caribbean for even longer. This is the 30th, 31st, right? November 2nd. Quite a range of possibilities here. I think it really depends on, when it develops, how strong it gets, whether it gets picked up by the broad um, mid-level, the broad westerlies, right, that we saw on the satellite loop, or it stays in this weak steering flow down here in the Caribbean until it finally moves one way or the other. What does the GFS ensembles do? This is the Judo Z run. They're kind of split as well. So still not a lot of certainty about this for real. I mean, it's been like this for several days now. You have the European ensembles. Some want to move it out to the north here. Not many, right? Once it's stay in the Caribbean, we're talking almost the 30th now, and it's different. And I'll show you the operational run. The operational run wants to bring. Um, let's see if I have a 6Z. No. Um, anyway, we'll move on to the operational runs here. This is a GFS operational run showing 00Z, showing the system here, the north of Haiti. And moving out to sea eventually, maybe impacting Nova Scotia. No, there's some other lows that form and it ends up going out to sea eventually. It doesn't get picked up by the trough on the East Coast. All right, so I wanted to talk about this again, the wind shear down here. You can see what I'm talking about. There's some wind shear going on with this system right here, right? And if we move through time here, we can there seems to be persistent wind shear on top of it, maybe lessening some as it moves towards the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and it moves over there and moves into the westerlies. And you have more the fluence and divergence here, although it may be lopsided on one side here. It gets pretty strong as it moves in the Atlantic. European, I'll show you what it does with the operational run. This is, let's go back to 18Z here. 18Z, okay, well, let's see if we have the 00Z yet. There we go. We don't have them all yet, but there we go. Want to really strengthen it here south of Cuba, and then take it out to sea, kind of like GFS, except not as far east. So this is a further south solution, right? This is way far out. This is 28th, 29th, 30th. We've been talking about this for a while. European AI model is what it will. Okay, is what it does. Doesn't really strengthen it much. Once it gets north of Haiti. So, boy, we're gonna be talking about this for a while. It gets old talking about the same thing over and over again until it develops. You know what I mean? So, this is the Canadian 00Z. There's our system here. Develops it in the Caribbean Sea. Hangs out along the Central American coast and eventually gets pulled north here. Interesting solution. It's probably the furthest west of any of them. The icon keeps in the Caribbean until the 27th, was 7 days from now. That's as far as this model run goes. So, lots of uncertainty exists still, but this is all we got about the tropics, and this is all the information about it. Still lots of uncertainty. I know I keep saying that, but that's the key word for this. I think it's going to develop. Where it goes exactly is nobody knows where it's going to go exactly, honestly. So we're going to go into the continental U.S. Not a lot going on today, although along the East Coast we have quite a bit of um, rainfall ongoing, and some up here in the upper Midwest. And I mean the northern high plains into the Intermountain West. We overlay the radar on that. See what we're talking about here. This potent mid-level low moving through the flow here, dragging moisture up in storms up into the northeast today, and the flow up here as well looks like a little um, short wave or something moving through the flow there. We can look at the level water vapor loop real quickly. Let's look at the upper levels. It shows us better here. Negatively tilted trough through the flow here. Looks like we have a little bit of push coming through this way. Looks like a mid-level, like a subtropical jet maybe. And an upper level low looks like right off the coast here. All right, so let's move on to the national radar. A lot of precip ongoing in the northeast, mid-Atlantic, into the Great Lakes, up into Canada, North Dakota, Minnesota, parts of Wyoming, Montana, all that good stuff. I looked over the severe weather chances, and as of right now, there's no significant severe weather expected in the next 8 days. So, at least according to the Storm Prediction Center. So, we're going to go right to the excessive rainfall outlook. Take this off today. A little small, little bitty. Let's see if this is 12Z today through 12Z tomorrow. Parts of Maine, Vermont. Uh, Small marginal risk. Tomorrow, no risk of excessive rainfall, highlighted by the WPC. Day 3, which is Tuesday through Wednesday, none highlighted. Then you have some return here in the middle part of the country as another short wave goes through the flow here, and I'll show you that in a minute. And day 5, that moves into Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, parts of the northwest coast. Get in on this too. What are the rainfall amounts projected to be the next 7 days? Potentially heavy rainfall here along the northwest coast, building back into Arkansas, Missouri, parts of Kansas, Louisiana. Of course, we have in the northeast, so we talk day 1 through 2. Let's go through that. You see day 1 through 2, which is pretty much now. Day 1 through 3, 1 through 5. You see where the bullseye starts building in here in the middle part of the country, and then that moves further to the east, and you see right on the coast here of northwest, and into the mountains here, getting in on it as well. So, what does the Climate Prediction Center have to say, temperature-wise? Day 6 through 10 temperature outlook. Forecast to be cooler than normal, pretty much west of the Rockies, and warmer than normal much of the east of the Rockies, except along the northeast here. Precip. Supposed to be what it looks like it's going to be wetter than normal here, which is nice in most of the country, actually, except for um, the southern tier of the U.S., mostly New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, into parts of Oklahoma, and way up into the Northeast. So, temperature wise, day 8 through 14, forecast to be below normal here in the Southeast into Missouri, Kentucky, uh, parts of Kansas, Oklahoma. Pretty much split here, like probably warmer than normal on the south end of this and warmer than normal up here. Interestingly enough, probably a boundary or something setting up in this area, right? So, what's precip look like? Good portion of the country still forecast to be above normal precip chances, higher precip, higher probabilities here into the Northeast, Mid Atlantic area, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia. Um, Again, below normal precip in the southern southwestern tier of the U.S. See, that was prior. That's that, right? So, what are temperature forecasts to look like? To be look like. Sorry, guys. Um, Maximum temperatures. You can see here where the max temps are today. Uh, Quite warm in the Texas, right? Get this to move. Moving kind of slow, guys. Glitching again for some reason. Let me close this. All right. So warm into Texas, Oklahoma, and Florida today, and parts of the Southwest. For tonight, minimum temperatures. Wish this thing wouldn't do this. Get this thing to load right. It's driving me crazy. All right. Well, ending this morning, low temps 46, 40s, 50s for a good portion of the country. And then high temps tomorrow. Still about the same for most of the country. Oh, tomorrow. Cooling off for even further south, although deep south, still quite warm. Let's just go through the maximum temps. You can see where the warmest temperatures are in the deep south. But overall, staying relatively nice, except for right along the Gulf Coast, a lot of Texas, parts of the desert Southwest, uh, and staying that way the most of the week. Although desert Southwest or Texas, sorry, and the desert Southwest stays pretty warm, and in Florida. Other than that, 70s, 60s, and some 50s here. Minimum temps. Let's go through this. Where the warmest temps are during the day, typically the warmest temps are at night, except for in the desert or high terrain. Uh, 40s, low 40s, mid 40s here. Into third Friday of this week, warming up again for the central plains, deep south overnight, pushing further a little bit east, 50s, still nice. I'll take these temperatures. And the 60s and 70s for lows are pushed way, way, way to the south towards the end of the period. There's some longer term trends that I'll probably talk about tomorrow, that may be forming that may be pretty impactful in the next 10 days. Um, but I'd like to see a few days of model guidance before I really start talking about that. Potentially pretty significant storm forecast be in this general area, and maybe returning of severe weather um, in this area, uh, days 8 through 10 maybe. So we'll talk about that more in the coming days, and the system that may develop out here. Um, let's take a look at that real quick. I'm just going to show you what I'm looking at on the map here. All right, this is the 26th. You see a short wave moving through the flow here. That moves to the north, and then a large mid-level. This is 500 millibars. Trough wants to 500 millibars. Just a very intense upper level, mid-level feature here, um, and maybe phasing along the east coast here, which could really bring maybe a significant nor'easter again on the east coast. We'll just have to see, but the short wave moving through the flow, go back to 500, is what we'll be looking at here for severe weather. Okay, or maybe this one too, but that's what we're going to be looking at in the coming days. We got time to look at this, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.